Imagine you're standing in front of a locked door. Behind that door is everything you've ever wanted for your business: customers, revenue, brand recognition, and long-term growth. Now, this door isn't locked because your idea is weak. It's locked because every market, by its very nature, protects itself. The big players, the incumbents, they already have loyal customers, established supply chains, and a deep understanding of the rules. They have brand trust built over years. So, what do? Trying to force the door open with brute strength is a recipe for failure. The real secret to market entry isn't about breaking down the door. It's about finding the right key, choosing a different door, or maybe even building a new entrance entirely. As the legendary Peter Drucker once said, the best way to predict the future is to create it. And that is exactly what a market entry strategy is. It is your blueprint for creating your future position in a market. So, what exactly is a market entry strategy? Simply put, it is the structured approach a new business uses to introduce its product or service into a target market. It's about minimizing risk while maximizing your competitive edge. A good strategy answers 4 fundamental questions. First, who exactly are we selling to? Second, where do we start? You can't be everywhere at once. Third, how do we stand out from the crowd? And fourth, how fast should we grow? The famous business strategist Michael Porter put it perfectly. Competitive strategy is about being different. It means deliberately choosing a different set of activities to deliver a unique mix of value. For new ventures, this is crucial. It is not about competing everywhere. It is about competing intelligently where you have the best chance to win. So let us dive into some of the key market entry strategies that have powered some of the most successful startups. First up is the niche market entry strategy. This is all about targeting a very specific, narrowly defined group of customers that larger competitors have either overlooked or underserved. Why does this work so well for new businesses? Well, for one, there's less competition. You're not going head-to-head with the giants right away. Second, these niche customers often have very clear pain points that you can solve directly. And finally, by focusing on a small group, you can build brand trust much faster. A great example is Paystack in Nigeria. They didn't try to challenge the big banks directly. Instead, they focused on a very specific niche: developers and small online businesses who desperately needed a simple, easy way to integrate payments. This laser focus allowed them to get adopted quickly and build a loyal following before they expanded into broader markets. Elon Musk summed up this logic beautifully. It is okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. Next, let's talk about the cost leadership entry strategy, or as I like to call it, low-cost disruption. This is where you enter a market by offering significantly lower prices. But there's a critical catch here. Your costs must be structurally lower, not just temporarily subsidized. You can achieve this through smarter operations, better technology, or a completely different business model. A classic example is Indomie noodles. They entered many African food markets by offering affordable, fast-cooking noodles that were also tailored to local tastes. Their cost efficiency, combined with local adaptation, allowed them to achieve mass market penetration. As Warren Buffett wisely notes, price is what you pay. Value is what you get. Successful low-cost companies win by delivering good enough value at a price that's simply unbeatable. But what if you can't be the cheapest? Then you need to be different. This brings us to the differentiation-based entry strategy. Here, you enter the market with a product or service that is meaningfully different in quality, design, experience, or functionality. This isn't just about having one cool feature. Differentiation can come from superior customer service, groundbreaking technology, powerful brand storytelling, or deep customization. Think about Apple. They entered the mobile phone market relatively late, but they didn't compete on price. They competed on something else entirely: a combination of beautiful design, a seamless ecosystem, and an unparalleled user experience. They differentiated based on perceived value. As Steve Jobs famously said, innovation is saying no to 1,000 things. For new ventures, differentiation is most powerful when it solves a real, observable frustration that customers have with existing products. Now, you don't always have to go it alone. That leads us to our next strategy: partnership and strategic alliances. This involves entering a market by collaborating with established players. Why would you do this? To gain instant access to their customers, their distribution channels, or their regulatory legitimacy. The advantages are huge. You build credibility faster, you reduce your entry costs, and you share the risk. We see this all the time in the fintech world. Many startups in Africa have entered highly regulated financial markets by partnering with licensed banks, rather than going through the long and expensive process of getting their own licenses. The former CEO of PepsiCo, Indra Nooyi, observed, "You cannot succeed in business today unless you build partnerships." This approach is especially powerful in industries where trust and regulation are major hurdles. Another smart approach is gradual market penetration, also known as the beachhead strategy. The idea here is to start small. You enter a small, specific part of the market first, completely dominate it, and then expand outward from that secure base. The process is simple. First, you choose your beachhead segment. Second, you achieve an incredibly strong product-market fit within that segment. And third, you use that momentum to expand into adjacent segments. The ultimate example of this is Amazon. They started with just one thing: books. Books were a perfect beachhead. They were standardized and easy to ship. Once they dominated the book market, they expanded into music, then electronics, and eventually into the everything store and cloud services giant we know today. Jeff Bezos has said, "We are stubborn on vision but flexible on details." This strategy perfectly balances grand ambition with practical, operational discipline. And of course, in today's world, we have to talk about the digital-first market entry strategy. This is all about using digital platforms, online distribution, and data-driven marketing to enter markets with minimal physical infrastructure. The benefits are obvious: lower startup costs, faster customer feedback, and incredible scalability. Think about companies like Flutterwave and Stripe. They use developer-friendly APIs and simple online onboarding to enter global markets without needing a network of physical offices. The CEO of Netflix, Reed Hastings, explains it well. The internet is the great equalizer. It allows small companies to act big. So, with all these options, how do you choose the right entry strategy for your business? The truth is, there's no single best strategy. The right choice depends on a mix of factors. How much capital do you have? What does the regulatory environment look like? How intense is the competition? What are your customers' behaviors? And what are your own team's unique capabilities? Microsoft's CEO Satya Nadella put it this way: "Our industry does not respect tradition, it only respects innovation." Your strategy must be aligned with reality, not just your ambition. Finally, let's quickly cover some common market entry mistakes to avoid. The first is entering too broadly, too fast. You spread yourself too thin and accomplish nothing. Another is competing directly with dominant incumbents without any real differentiation. That's a fight you're likely to lose. Others include ignoring local customer behavior, underestimating regulatory barriers, and overpricing your product before you've earned any trust. The investor Peter Thiel has a blunt warning: competition is for losers. What he means is that smart ventures avoid head-on battles. Instead, they create strategic asymmetry. They play a different game. In the end, market entry isn't just about launching a product. It is about claiming a defensible position in the minds of your customers and within the structure of the market itself. Successful new ventures don't just ask, "Can we enter this market?" They ask, "How can we enter in a way that our competitors cannot easily copy?" In today's fast-moving business world, your entry strategy is the difference between simply being visible and being truly viable for the long run. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more insights on building your business. See you in the next one.